I've been at the Homestead since January of last year. Natalie, and I've been at the Homestead since October.
I'm Andrea, and I've been at the Homestead for 10 months.
There you go. They're not telling you anything else about themselves. You know who they are as far as first name.
I'm a tourist, and I like long walks on the beach.
Personal stuff. So great. So, I've had this document given to me, and it's written by a survivor. And I think Lindsay's passing it out, or has passed it out, but it's called Multiple Minds of a Trafficked Person. And so when I read it, I was like, wow, this is interesting. And I took it over to Bible study, and I presented it to the gals to get their input on it, and every one of them were like, this is true. This is what we deal with. This is what goes on in our minds. This is the things we battle. And so I thought, wow, how insightful this would be for our volunteers to know what kind of things internally, mentally, that our girls actually are battling all the time as they come out of a lifestyle of having been trafficked. So, I'm going to read the description, and you can read along with me. And we're just going to do one at a time, but I'm going to have each one of them weigh in on each aspect of the mind. So think about this. All 5 aspects are happening all the time within their thinking, in the battle that they individually are having. And these aspects of the mind are happening in brokenness, in their brokenness. The goal is, probably they may not be totally eliminated, but the goal is in a healthy manner to begin dealing with, battling these 5 aspects that they do deal with. And hopefully some of them are replaced. The wrong belief system associated with this will eventually be replaced. So the first one is a victim mind. The victim mind is shy, quiet, often gets overruled, knows that deep down that what's happening to it is wrong. It knows it's been wrong, it knows it's been harmed, and it can't say it loud enough. So that's the victim mindset. So I want the gals to share how this mindset of being a victim has affected them, how it's hindered them, how it has kept them stuck to be in this victim mindset. And, how does it affect not only how they view themselves, then also how they interact with others, and what they have to do to really overcome a victim mindset so that they feel empowered, so they feel like they do have a voice. So we'll just unpack that with one question and not 5 at a time. So, how does this mindset affect you personally? The victim mindset. And maybe if you have moved beyond it, how did you do that? How long was it an issue?
Well, for me, all my life since I really started going through all my trauma, I always felt very inadequate, like I was just less than everybody, and that I deserved to be stuck in this place where I just didn't matter, my thoughts didn't matter. And it wasn't until the past 8 months or so whenever I really gained a voice, and that was by people just simply asking me, what are your thoughts about this, how do you feel about this, and just acknowledging me as a person and that I actually have those thoughts, and seeing myself as a person instead of just as somebody's, just to be used as somebody's disposal.
Andrew, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, this is something that I still struggle with today, but I've gotten much better since I've been at the Homestead. When I first came to the Homestead, I was just stuck in the victim mind. I had been abused as a child, and abused as an adult, all kinds of abuse. And when I got here, I was very, didn't stand up for myself, wasn't assertive, and I really made progress in that.
I don't know if we're glad or sad.
Yeah. I'm starting to use my voice again. But that often gets overruled. I would just, somebody would dismiss my feelings or dismiss what I needed, and I would just go along with it. Like the knows deep down what's happening is wrong. I don't know, I'm really overcoming the victim mind. I just don't, and other people have noticed it too. It just, you're just more passive when you're in the victim mind, and everything is everybody else's fault. And it's just, it's a really hard mentality to get out of, especially if you've been victimized your whole life. It's very hard, but what has helped me is the support system that I have, the Bible study, the safe people that I can say, hey, you hurt my feelings, and then they give me good feedback, and I know it's safe to tell them, hey, this hurt my feelings, and then I get love in return instead of blows or, things like that.
Yeah, anything else?
I think for me with the victim mindset, it just allowed me to keep becoming a victim instead of standing up for myself and finally speaking about it. I just let things continue and continue and continue to where it took a toll on my mind emotionally and mentally, and I just kind of fell apart. And I don't really think I have the victim mindset anymore, but it took me a couple of years to get out of that and realize that I'm not gonna let this happen to me anymore. And I think that's all I have to say about it.
Good. Anybody have questions on the victim mindset for the ladies?
The time of your abuse, would you say that was where your mind spent most of its time?
Which one is that addressed to, Karen?
Anyone.
Any of them. So is that where they spent the most time, was with a victim mindset?
I spent most of my time, it started when I was a child with my dad verbally abusing me and my mom just always being a drunk, and that's when she would verbally abuse me also. So it started with verbal abuse, and then it wasn't until I was older when I started going through things that were way worse that's when it really struck me hard. So it was for those years that I was like and dealing with men that my victim mindset was stuck to my mind. So.
You know, for the ladies to discover who they are and what they like and what they don't like, a victim just is like a chameleon. It's just like whatever you tell me, I am, or I'll do. And, you know, how do you set goals with that? How do you move forward with that? It keeps them very, very stuck.
I had another one.
Okay.
So I know you had mentioned, Andrea, about what people did to overcome that mindset by being safe people. Is there anything in particular that people did for each of you to help you overcome that?
Okay, so the question is, what helped you move out of the victim mindset?
To know that I would be heard, that that not to be passive aggressive. If something hurts me, what really helps is the love and the Christian mentality. That being loved through people through Christ, through His love, and that's really what has helped me heal the most. Is just knowing that I'm in a safe place and Deb doesn't let anybody in that's not allowed. So I
Go to my safe little place.
my bubble, my Homestead bubble.
You know, I've recently dealt with one of our ladies who had, I would say, a severe victim mindset. And it's very self-focused. And everything is, when I put this, what you believe for, you're not hearing me if you're not agreeing with me. And that's not the case. So there's a real differentiation there. Girls, do you want to speak on what was helpful as a, like Grace said, you know, having the safe people around and their responses was helpful to her. What was helpful to you to move you out of that?
I think for me it was a lot of just acknowledging what I had been through, but moving me forward with that. And when my mentors would give me their time and really sit with me, speak with me about things that I was struggling with, but help me move forward from those instead of just sitting in that and being sad or just being stuck in that. A lot of times we just get stuck in those memories and it's like, oh my gosh, I went through that. How can I move forward from that? Well, when you have somebody there sitting with you saying, hey, you can move forward, you are moving forward, and just that little bit of a nudge, but in a loving and supportive Christ-like way.
I hear you, but let's make new memories together.
Exactly. Yeah.
One thing that really stands out to me is we have therapy 3 times a week. That is very helpful. You don't get that kind of, being on your own, you don't get that kind of focus. And you really, like I've seen in Sam and me, like I've been here 10 months and it took me almost this whole 10 months to actually open up in therapy and to start progressing. So it's just phenomenal that we have the opportunity to have therapy 3 times a week.
Andrea, can I ask you in particular, there has been a shift in your thinking about living. Was the victim mindset part of not wanting to live? She wasn't suicidal, she just didn't want to be here, alive, on planet Earth, right?
Yeah, up until very recently, like the last couple months.
Exactly.
I just felt like, what good am I? I'm only abused. All I am is abused all the time. What is my purpose here? And Homestead has helped me to see, that I have a purpose greater than that abused Andrea, that I can make something of it. I can have my little domestic violence coffee shops and
I have dreams.
yes, I can have my little dreams and fulfill them and get my kids back and do all these wonderful things.
And I think about you, Sam, with dealing with young Sam within. And would you talk a little bit about that? Because she's in a victim stance.
So I've always had no feelings since I was about 7 years old. I was forced to just put them aside. I wasn't really human-like anymore. And just recently, I'm having to literally almost force myself to relive a lot of things that I went through and to force those emotions to come to the surface. And it's been horribly great. It's hard. It hurts really, really bad. But it's what I need to do to really, truly heal and to acknowledge what my little girl Sam went through and to really give her a voice. If not, she's just inside of me, just hurting and just screaming at times. And if I just keep pushing her to the side, it keeps those emotions from coming into my heart. So I have to work internally on it all the time. And but it's working because I know emotionally where I want to be, and God just gives me little bits at a time, and He knows that I can handle.
It's about healing those young places and giving those young places who didn't have a voice, and helping those young places grow up. So
She's grown up, and it's been rough.
excellent. Well, let's move on to the second aspect, which is the criminal mind. So in the criminal mind, they're defensive, sarcastic. When people say, like a mentor or someone says, you know what, you've done nothing wrong. That mind is thinking either you're really stupid or you think I'm stupid. It won't talk because you won't understand. And it runs on instinct, and it carries with it guilt and shame from what they have done. So that criminal mindset. So gals, talk a little bit about that, that mental battle.
This is something I still battle every day. I started getting like a criminal mind when I was probably like 11 or 12 years old, probably a little bit younger than that. I just like the thought of gangsters and drugs and guns and stealing and going to jail, I glorified it in my mind. It became something just really cool to me. And so it really took a toll on the way I behaved when I got older, and it affected me in a lot of negative ways. But to this day, when it hinders me, it just like, it's like, see, that's where it's hard to talk about. It's something that I deal with like every day when I'm like defensive or like super sarcastic. It's like I put this wall up because I don't want you into my mind or to know what I'm really thinking. And it's just, when it says it runs on instinct, it really does, because when you've lived in a lifestyle where that's all you were, was a criminal, and you've gone to jail and prison, it becomes your instinct to just do those things, because it's like, it's part of being like in survival mode also, which is another mindset that we'll talk about, but I can't like walk into a store by myself without wanting to steal something. So what I have to do is let people know that, and then they are able to help me. And I also, for myself, I don't take a person with me, or I don't like carry something in with me to avoid that temptation. I guess like, it's not something I really can talk about a lot. It's just something that I like deal with all the time. So it's my wall going up. Like.
But is that not helpful to know? These girls are battling with this stuff, and you're spending time with them, and this is what's going on. So anything else on that criminal mind aspect?
Yes, and I think that the Homestead helps address this. Like when I first got here, like, but I used to sell my food stamps for some hygiene products and cigarettes and marijuana. And coming to the Homestead, they made sure that I had nicotine. It was rollies, but it was better than nothing. So
We didn't make her go cold turkey. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not buying the packs of cigarette. You're gonna roll them.
Yeah, so, but it got me through it. I was rolling them, I did not mind. It was nicotine. But, that was just, I had to wrap my mind around, I don't have to sell my food stamps anymore. I don't. Yeah, so that was major. That was, and that also helped me, live a more pure life. Like, I haven't, like, literally in a year, I have not committed a crime. I've not,
And that's as simple as stealing a bottle of nail polish or something in a store. I mean, just those little things that they can slip quickly. And yeah, from your roommate or someone else in the house that you have a beef with even,
I think another thing, like music and what we watch has like a lot to do with it. Like, I can't listen to certain music without it making me want to go out and do what that song's talking about. Like, like seriously. And no cupcakes. Yeah. Like, you can't listen to like any of the music that like you once loved. Like, it really, like when you become like a Christian and you're like doing godly things and becoming this godly woman that you want to be, and you try to listen to old music just for fun, have a change for a day. You can't, because you have that inner battle going on, and it changes everything about your heart in that moment. You can feel the switch. So that's just like another thing that you have to deal with.
So I can watch movies now. There's some movies that I found so hilarious and one of my favorite, and now I'm just like, yeah.
No kidding. It makes the battle more intense. You know, some of you have been approached by different Homestead ladies asking for stuff. Would you do this? Would you buy this? How about you donate your car? How much can you buy me this? Can you do that? You've got to realize that by doing those things, you're not necessarily helping them. You're not necessarily helping. It's part of their hustling. It's part of an old lifestyle. And you really do need to check, probably with me, before you're going to spend money on one of the girls. Because I tell you what, that's just part of it. But we're trying to move them past that and provide for their essentials. And manipulation goes with it. Yes, a lot of manipulation. Sam?
And you don't even realize exactly that you even have a criminal mindset. Like for me, I grew up in the drug world. Like that was just normal. Before that, it was just constant abuse. So it was the only thing that I knew, and I still struggle all the time with just, just being honest with myself and with other people about really big things and really, really small things too. And what I've found for me is just speaking my thoughts out loud, like no matter what it is. If I don't speak it out loud, then it's a lot easier for me to actually notice it. Like, okay, so this definitely isn't the right kind of thinking that I want anymore.
I think I get called out once a day for the way I speak my mind outside. I just go be like,
A lot of looks. That's the cue. Yeah. Well, and so giving some accountability on even the smallest of things in a loving way.
Yeah.
Not in a guilting way, not in a shaming way, but just, is that really the right way to think, or is that really the right thing to do? Or, how does that make you feel?
There's like some days where I'll be really struggling with the thought of what I want to go out and do, and I have to call like a family member that knows my behavior, because like the girls here know me today. They don't know who I was years ago, or like when I was in that lifestyle. So I'll call up my family member and talk to them about what I'm dealing with, what I want to do, and they're able to because they know my routine like to a T, that they are able to guide me out of it. When that's when it's like the hardest for me is when I reach out to them. So that's just like another thing. Yeah, very helpful.
Any questions that you have for the gals regarding that criminal mindset that they just wrestle with? Okay, no? All right, move on. The survivor mind. Laughs when you offer protection because you have no idea what it took to stay alive this long without help. Tells victim mind to shut up. The past is past, no big deal, just push it aside, really not work through that. Just in a survivor mode. There's life and hope out there somewhere, and this mind will actually fight to find it. I want to survive. So, speak to that.
Well, what I used to survive throughout my whole life was disassociating, was shutting off all of my emotions and my feelings so that I didn't really have to deal with what was going on. And my goal every day was just to make it through the day, just to find somewhere to sleep, find something to eat. It was just a constant mission from the time I was 7 up until I came to the Homestead, really. And by keeping that mindset, it kept me in dangerous situations. It kept me around all those unsafe people who made me really stay in that survivor mind. And I think now having a safe place to be and knowing that I'm around safe people and acknowledging the fact that I don't have to just survive now, that I can live. And I have what me and my debs call a protector, Sam. She swoops in whenever things are getting too real for me and shuts down my feelings. So what I've had to do with her is really show her that I am in a safe place and I can actually live my life now because of the people that I surround myself with. That's the best part of my life.
I personally do not like the word survivor. Not that I don't like it, but I feel like there's a better word, and I feel like I'm an overcomer. I feel like I'm overcoming. I've survived, and now, like we talked the other day, I'm thriving. I've got a job. I'm good. a year clean, and I couldn't have done that without that little bit of hope to fight for. And I find that through Christ. Jesus has really been that beacon of light for me to give me hope. And, you know, a year ago, my rights to my children were terminated, and now I'm looking at getting them back. And just God is the...
I think when we were talking about this the other day, I asked, like, is it bad if you're still stuck in the survivor mind, or if you feel like that? And, like, I feel like I'm in survival mode every day still. And I think that's just because my whole life I survived, like, just by just going and going and going and going. I didn't stop, I wouldn't stop to think, and I just didn't feel anything. But the way, like, Sam has a protector, Sam, and my protector was, like, anger. I protected myself through anger, and that's why I survived, was living off that anger for everything. And, it definitely affects the internal battle I have every day, but that little bit of hope really does keep you going. And like Andrea said, like, right now I'm in survivor mode, but I hope to one day be in that overcomer stage, you know, but, yeah, but I don't feel it. I don't know, when there's like stuff that happens, you just like, you instantly, it's like an instinct, you just go back into survivor mode, and it's something that you deal with every day, I think.
So having to be intentional
Yeah.
about not leaning on the anger then, but intentional about, you know what, I don't have to go there, I don't have to behave that way. It's not called for anymore. I mean, it's a battle.
Yeah, our fans are getting less and less. I'm really proud of her.
There you go. Fits are getting less and less. Did you hear that? Celebration, we celebrate the little things. We really do. We'll have a party later for that.
Another thing that we were talking about in trauma therapy, my trauma therapist and I, was survivor friendships. Like, if the friendships that you have in the house or like in your just a little circle that you create, if they're really friendships and true, or if it's out of survival that you are so close with someone. And that's something that like Sam and I were struggling with for a minute, and we figured it out, but it was just, that was like something that it made me think, like, that it just kind of was like a light bulb. That made a lot of sense. And like, when I look back now, all the friendships that I had were out of survival to keep myself alive and out of trouble, or to keep me one step ahead of someone else. And
So the goal is then to begin to widen your circle of friends that aren't just people surviving, but safe people that are healthy, that can walk alongside them. You know, that's what you all have been doing, showing them that, you know, there's a different way to live and be. Any questions on that survivor aspect that they all wrestle with? Y'all are getting more pentatonic, so. Yeah.
how can you make yourself?
Oh, well, I can answer that. Trish Rumble is one of my mentors, and like my first couple months, I literally called her every day, bawling my eyes out.
I'm sorry, Trish.
And she, like, once a week, I would call her just bawling and bawling, and she'd come running, and she'd drop everything, and you know, I didn't call her every day bawling and crying, but like once a week, and she would drop everything and come and just be there with me and just speak the word over me and use things from her own life that she's overcome, and that was very helpful.
Yeah, I completely agree with what Andrew was saying. I mean, that's really how mentors can help, is just by sitting with us and just understanding what we're saying, but like I said earlier, just pointing out, you know, where we're at now and showing us different ways to really think about things and to handle things and to do things, and by being our role models with that.
And doing that in love, not judgment, not scolding. I mean, you heard Cindy earlier, you know, the scolding, the judging, the attitude, the body language, does not help. It does not help. It literally shames and makes, you know, produces guilt and that kind of thing, but in a loving way, listening, empathizing, but not allowing you to remain stuck there, and just encouraging other ways to think and other ways to handle.
Well, and doing normal things, like Trish and I went to the art museum. When was the last time I did that? Walking Broadway, I'm going to the art museum. Sandy and I went to go see Jesus Christ Superstar. Just being able, we get to go out to eat. I hadn't done that in, like a year. I hadn't been out and done things, and we eat out a lot. It's just something fun to do, and it reminds me, it takes me back to when I was being raised with my family and had, strong supports there. So it's very helpful. Just, and a cup of coffee. I mean, Trish and I go play Scrabble and drink coffee at Regina's.
So a new normal.
I mean, like for me, I don't even know what I like or what I want to do, so just by taking me out to those small little things, it's like, I figure out if I like it or not, or like what kind of coffees I like, 'cause I don't know what half of it means, so I have to have my Meredith explain it to me.
A little more about going, like you get free, but you go right back. That whole cycle, of, okay, you're here at the Homestead, you have an opportunity, but are you going to go back to that person or people just like them?
Is that directed towards me?
Nope.
However,
However, if you would like to speak, you may.
I'll be honest, like I went through this recently where I had gotten back in contact with him.
Normal,
Or you think you're strong enough to go back.
Right, or you think, he's gonna change, or like,
There's the great deception. I'm like, why are you?
Focused around methamphetamines. It was the reason why I was trafficked. It was the reason why my mom abused me so much. It was the reason why I was held against my will at 18. It was the reason why I lived for so many years. Whenever I started using, I was just chasing that all the time, and it's so much more than it's just your comfort zone. I mean, being in this type of mindset, it's just comfortable, even though you know that shouldn't be. It is. It's the only thing that almost feels right. Like whenever I first started, drifting away from men, from drugs, it was the weirdest feeling ever. I didn't feel comfortable.
men who are good examples of what we need to look for. And what is so funny?
Tim was like,
Yeah.
Well, and Sam, talk about just your conversation with your mom about what real love is. You've seen real love. And, just even with mentors and their relationship.
Yeah, me and my mom kind of got into a tiff last night, and she was talking about how she loved this guy who was like, he's a few years older than me, and I literally started just quoting scripture to her, like, those things are not love. I've been shown what love is here. I was like, God's been showing that. I was like, I've been showing you that. I was like, the girl's like,
They're older, they're empty nest, they're holding hands, he's looking at her adoringly, and, she's aged and she's not an hourglass figure anymore, and, it's not based on, you're a product.